souls, welcome back. So today I have a really great story to share with you. I was enjoying this story so much when I was reading through it that I just could not even wait to make this video. And with the couple of episodes that we've had that have been pretty deep, I thought that this would be a great way to start off the weekend. Going back to the work life, and I'm sure a lot of people can probably relate with this one if they're in this type of office environment. I hope you guys enjoy this one as much as I did. I started a new job a while back, and to be honest, I was really intimidated. This company was so fancy, way fancier than anywhere I'd ever worked before. Everybody walked around looking so polished and like they had their life together or something. And here I was just trying not to embarrass myself on day one. I wanted to make a good impression, stay professional, and learn as much as I could because I did not want to be the rookie for so long. One of the first people who really took me under her wing was this woman from another department. We didn't actually work together, but our departments were close enough that we would bump into each other all the time. She was one of those people that just seemed ridiculously nice. You know, the type that's smiling all the time and overly positive, never forgets to say good morning, and always asking how your day is. She'd stop by just to chat, and she did introduce me to people all over the company, especially some of the higher ups. And she also kept telling me how much I was going to really enjoy working there. Something about that just made this start so much easier. She had been working there for several years and was the executive assistant to the president of our branch, so she basically knew everybody. We started to grab lunch together sometimes, and we would talk about stuff outside of work. So I genuinely started to think, wow, I actually made a really great friend here. Since she helped me so much when I first started, I was always happy to return the favor whenever she needed something. She would come by my desk with administrative questions. Hey, can you show me how to do this in Word? Hey, how did you make that chart in Excel? Can you review this email before I send it to this mass group so that I don't embarrass myself? I actually enjoyed helping her at first, but then the hey, can you help me's were coming a lot more frequently. After a while, I started wondering, does she actually like me or am I just her free tech support here? But I pushed it aside and I said I was just overthinking it. But then one day came this cheese incident. And yes, you read that correctly. Apparently, our office in Sweden had shipped some ridiculously expensive moose cheese to our office. Not joking, this stuff is actually cheese from a moose. Her boss had promised it to one of our VIP clients, and he specifically told her that when it arrived, she needed to overnight it immediately because it was perishable. The shipment showed up Friday morning, so she went and put the DHL box inside the office refrigerator. Then she got busy, went home, basically just forgot all about it. Plot twist. Every Friday, our cleaning crew cleans out all of the office refrigerators, and anything left inside, straight to the garbage can. She said she remembered the cheese on Saturday afternoon, but figured, hey, I'll just send it out on Monday morning, no big deal. Well, Monday morning came, no cheese. But the refrigerator was spotless. A few minutes later, she comes running to my desk looking like someone had just told her the building was on fire. What do I do? What do I do? He's gonna fire me. How am I gonna fix this? She was literally shaking. I'm trying so hard not to laugh because I know this is serious, but at the time, we're talking about international cheese here. I finally calmed her down and I told her to go tell him the truth and that I was sure that our colleagues in Sweden could send us some more cheese. No big deal. But I said, whatever you do, do not try to hide this from him. So she took a deep breath and she walked into his office. His office had glass walls so everybody could see inside. You couldn't hear anything, but you didn't need to. His hands were flying, his face was red, and she just stood there nodding her head yes several times. I could tell she was fighting back the tears, but eventually she came back out. I said, hey, how did it go? She said, he was furious. But once I explained to him that Sweden could overnight me another one, he calmed down. By the way, this isn't relevant to this story, but I still laugh at the fact that someone in Sweden had to overnight some emergency moose cheese. Anyway, A few months later, I had to leave town for a 2-day training. It was one of those intense corporate trainings, where you have to put your phone away. So during one of the sessions, I kept seeing my phone light up. I had like 4 missed calls and 5 unread texts, and they were all from her. Since we didn't really work together though, I figured it had to be something personal, right? Not urgent. So I planned to call her back during our next break. The second she answers the phone, she explodes on me. Apparently her boss needed some documents shipped for a visa that was pending first thing in the morning because they were extremely time sensitive. She said she went to log into the shipping account and she couldn't. A few days earlier, our department had changed the password because of a security issue, and I guess she didn't know the new password. So instead of asking one of the 3 people who were literally sitting in the office right next to her in the cubicle, she decides to blow up my phone. The person who's several states away, sitting in a mandatory training with their phone turned off. That makes so much sense, right? Since she couldn't get into the account, the documents went out way past the due date. Yet somehow this was all my fault. She actually told me that if her boss got upset with her, she was going to tell him that it happened because I changed the password and never told anyone. I honestly didn't even know what to say. I just sat there thinking, wait, are you serious? I have spent the last year helping you with every single thing that you've asked without hesitation. Excel, projects, presentations, your stupid questions, whatever you needed. And because I didn't answer my phone while I was in a work training, now I'm the bad guy? I finally told her, we'll talk when I get back, because I had to get back to class and didn't have time to deal with that nonsense. When I returned to the office, she wouldn't even look at me. No good mornings anymore, there were no water cooler chats, absolutely nothing. She acted like I had purposely ruined her life. But honestly, I was not about to chase her. Then about 3 weeks later, she walked right up to my desk like absolutely nothing had ever happened. So, you doing anything fun this weekend? That was it. She didn't apologize, there was no accountability, nothing. Just like it disappeared. She only wanted to know what my plans were for the weekend. I was like, are we really just going to pretend that the last 3 weeks didn't even happen? So I looked at her, told her no, and went right back to work. I stayed professional after that because you have to. You work together, but friendships? Nope, not anymore. I don't think she's a bad person. She was great to have around as long as everything was going her way. But the second something went wrong, her kindness went with it. I guess sometimes people aren't building a friendship. They just like convenience, and as long as you're useful, everything feels great to them. But the moment you're not, you find out where your friendship really stands. Oh, and dear Sweden, my sincerest apologies because my coworker dropped the ball. Or should I say, the G's. You guys, that was so funny. Oh my goodness. Anyway, I'm sure that all of you probably have some pretty hilarious office stories to share of your own, and I cannot wait to hear them. So if you have anything that you've been through that's similar to this situation, please feel free to send it to me. Sometimes in these situations, they're frustrating, they're sad, you invest time, but at the end of the day, it's better that she found out who this person really was earlier on than to invest any more time in her. So to our kind soul that sent in this story, you are heard, you are not alone. Thank you so much for brightening up my weekend, and I hope that all of you have an amazing weekend as well, and we will catch you on the next one. Bye guys.